What is up, guys? Name's Ray and welcome to another Genshin Impact video. In today's video, we're going to compare Dragonspine Spear to Crescent Pike for physical Rosaria. If you're interested in more 4-star weapon comparisons referring to the Cryo DPS build, definitely make sure to check that video out. I will have a separate video on that one, as well as my basic understanding guide for Rosaria to make sure that you will do everything right with this character and that you do understand the character right. And yes, without further ado, let's hop into today's video into the theoretical part. Now, how we want to do this is we want to use Dragonspine Spear, and I will show off the solo or the actual damage numbers without any support, as well as the one from Crescent Pike. I did level up both of them up to level 90. Big shout out to my boy Benny Chopper, as well as my sister, who were helping me out constantly with farming ores to level up multiple of the 4-star weapons. Yeah, guys, they are both at refinement rank 1. And after I showed off the damage potential, I will go into a Superconduct team. If you guys do not know, Superconduct is the elemental reaction that you want to use if you play a physical team, because on the Superconduct elemental reaction, you will shred 50% of the physical resistance of the enemy if you apply this elemental reaction to the enemy. For artifact builds, if I should do a recommendation, there are basically only 2 builds that you really want to build. On the one hand, it is the 4-piece Gladiator set, which gives you a attack buff of 18%, and it increases your normal attack by 35%. But it is way harder to obtain these with some usable substats than a 2-piece Gladiators and 2-piece Bloodstained Chivalry, which I do recommend much more. So I will show you like the subsets now real quick. I think that my set is pretty good, even though we have some pieces that are not very well rolled, even though I have a physical damage goblet and a crit damage helmet. Keep in mind that my Rosaria has all the talent up to level 6, and that she has the ability to increase her crit rate by 12% for 5 seconds after using her E behind one of your enemies. Also, my Rosaria is Constellation 0, and now these are the stats with using the Dragonspine Spear. Yeah, I think we can hop in right into the showcase. So I will show off the stats here. I have 33% crit rate, so keep in mind with the passive talent we can up 12% into that. So we will have above 50% crit rate, 164% crit damage, no energy recharge on this. I think that it doesn't matter, and 152 physical damage, which is pretty high because the Dragonspine Spear has a 69% physical damage. Also, we should go over the passive of this weapon. Hitting an opponent with normal and charge attacks has a 60% chance of forming and dropping a Everfrost Icicle above them, dealing AoE equal to 80% of attack. Opponents affected by cryo or instead dealt damage equal to 200% of the attack. This only can occur once every 10 seconds. So basically, on the first or on the second hit, you will definitely apply this, and then it has a 10 seconds cooldown. So keep that in mind when you use this weapon. Alright, so did I miss out on anything? I guess no. So let's hop into the... Okay, luckily, we still have this event up. So if you want to do some damage testings, I definitely recommend to use this event, even though you cleared everything of it like I already do. But I'm currently at world level 8. And world level 8, the monsters are, the Hilichurls are around 84 till 88 or 89. Just around that. And if you want to play on normal or on hard, this is very similar to the levels of the monsters in the open world. So for me in the showcase, it is way easier to use this event. Maybe when you see the video, the event is already gone. But for now, it doesn't make a big difference if I do use it on the event or if I use it in the open world. So for the showcase, I will always pick the normal. Then the Hilichurls will be around level 85. Which is very similar to the ones in the open world, and it will be a fair comparison for both weapons if I just pick one difficulty. Alright, let's hop into the showcase with Dragonspine Spear. Okay, let's try to see the auto attack number. So remember the passive from Dragonspine Spear, we need to affect our enemies by cryo, and then we can attack them So you did saw that 10,000. That was the passive from Dragonspine Spear that has now a 10-second cooldown. So now we can see the raw or the attack damage just from the Dragonspine Spear. And as long as they are not affected by cryo, the multiplier will be only 80%. So it is important to cycle with your abilities still though. So you just saw that 10,000 again because they were affected by cryo. This is the damage from the ultimate on the physical build as well as the E damage. Another 10,000 because they were affected by cryo, but I have to wait 10 seconds to trigger that again. Let's use E so we can transition into Q. Maybe want to see the charged attack damage. Yeah, another 10,000. That was actually the charge attack, not the passive. Go, 12,000. Charged attack. So maybe we want to try to use a animation cancelling. So get stamina back, and then we want to use some animation cancelling here. Basically, do charge top into E. Okay, want to do it again. Charge top into E. So basically, wanna cancel that charged attack. I'm not perfectly in that because I'm not really used to using charged attacks on the characters that I do play. But usually, that is the playstyle to go. You want a charge attack, and then you want animation cancel it. So you just saw 22,000 damage. Pretty good. Okay, maybe I can do it again on that. And should be enough, I guess, for the solo showcase. Let's swap over to the Crescent Pike. Alright, Crescent Pike. So we want to read through the passive, take a quick look at the stats. So it only has half of the physical damage of the Dragonspine Spear if we compare those directly. But it has nearly 120 more attack. Now, after picking up an elemental or particle, normal and charged attacks deal additional damage equal to 20% of attack for 5 seconds. Picking up an elemental or particle should be very consistently. So we should look at the passive. It does hold for 5 seconds. You do pick up an elemental particle every time guaranteed when you use your E, where she does generate 3 elemental particles. So always when you use your E, every 6 seconds, you will be able to pick up elemental particles. The passive of the Crescent Pike doesn't stack. So you don't have to, or you do not have to try to get multiple hits of the E through a sacrificial weapon, even though a sacrificial Polearm doesn't exist. But I hope you get the idea of this. You literally just have a 1 second down timer on the passive of Crescent Pike. So you use E, then you just do your normal auto attacks with Crescent Pike during those 5 seconds, and then you have a 1 second off, and then you use your E again, and then you will maintain on the buff. This buff will show off as a small number, so it won't get into your normal attack. It will show off as a separate smaller numbers. So for Crescent Pike, you definitely will see some smaller numbers, but you will see more numbers once at a time. So if we want to look at Rosaria's attack combo, so on the first hit, you should see 2 numbers. On the second hit, also 2 numbers. And on the third hit, you should see 4 numbers already, as well as on the 5th hit. So for each multiplier, you get 1 hit. That's why Crescent Pike is so good on a physical carry. So hope you did understand this. And let's get right into the showcase. So we do not have to apply cryo or anything. We just can go straight up and attack. So you see, on the double hit, you'll see like way more numbers. So it is like 4 numbers per enemy. And now if we add up, we can just try to add up the damage. So we have like 3,800 plus like the 300, 400. Try to look at these smaller numbers here. And if we add those up, we should come out on 5,000 per hit. 4 to 5,000 per hit, I would say. Which is in auto attack damage more than Dragonspine Spear. Definitely, guys. So, you can take a look at the ultimate here. Also, Crescent Pike is way easier to use because you do not have to think about anything. You do not have to think about applying cryo to the enemy. You just can attack Also, what we want to do is we want to just do the charge attack, cancel again, and do this. Was 10,000. Do this and this. So I would say for Crescent Pike, the charge attack doesn't matter as much for the Dragonspine Spear, because you want to focus on getting as much hits as possible with Crescent Pike. So you really want to auto attack with this weapon. Alright, so I would say that this clear was way faster because I did auto attack a lot and the damage did increase because of the passive from Crescent Pike. So I will keep this for the conclusion at the end, but I think for the auto attack potential, we can see a clear winner here. Okay guys, this will be the team that I want to use for the team showcase. So we want to apply Superconduct. I think it should be very easy official because I only keep the bird out, and then I will be able to apply Superconduct constantly. I use Kea again for consistently crit and Jean just in case to heal. Alright, let's get in. We're going back to the Dragonspine Spear. And yeah, let's go. So, I guess we should apply Cryo first. Get into this and let's see. So, you can see 5,000 damage because of the element physical resistance shred through Superconduct. Always try to stay at the location of the bird. Yeah, damage increasement is insane, guys. It is 5,000. So nearly a damage increasement of 1,000 damage. Use this. Okay, we have the ultimate again. Bad positioning, so we want to keep the healing charts here. And attack again. So yeah, I think that in terms of damage numbers, that was already enough to see. Okay, now we want to do and see the exact same thing with Crescent Pike. Should be very interesting here. Alright, we're going to wait for Official E to come back. Okay guys, Official E is back. And let's see. Oh, we're nearly at the same numbers. 4,900. 5,000. So, yeah, I guess. Wow. With Superconduct. Yeah, I think Crescent Pike is insane as a physical carry. 6,000. So always try to keep up Electro here. I think I should have used one more Electro character. Okay guys, let's swap back to Dragonspine Spear again, and I want to change one thing in the team comp, which is instead of Kea, I want to use another Electro character, which is Beidou, just so we have more Electro on the field. And let's see this again. So again, Dragonspine Spear. So we just can use Beidou. It's much easier with Beidou, because Beidou doesn't move. And now just pay attention on the white numbers. Of course, all the other numbers, you can just rewatch that. But 5,000, 5,000. Wasn't able to pay attention on the passive of, what was it, of the Dragonspine Spear. I think this is much harder. Now, I actually just can cycle through, use Official, go into Rosaria, use her ultimate, then Beidou's counter is back and we can end. Okay, one last time with Crescent Pike, as you can see. Here, Crescent Pike. with Beidou and Fischl. So let's use Beidou's ultimate again, use a counter, and get in with Rosaria. Auto attack, use ultimate, let the Hilichils come to you, get Fischl out, get in the counter. So we applied Electro and Beidou's ultimate is back up again. Bro, I do really like this team. Look at these damage numbers. Wow, wow, wow. Pretty good, pretty good. Alright, I would say straight off the bat as a TLDR, Crescent Pike gets the edge at Refinement rank 1. So, but hear me out. The strength on Crescent Pike is to auto attack. While I think that Dragonspine Spear does rely much more on rotating your characters, which I didn't do in the showcase, but actually, this is the big thing. You can only accrue this passive once every 10 seconds, as well as you have to keep in mind to apply Cryo first to apply the bigger buff. So I would give Crescent Pike the option because it is way easier to auto attack. You do not have to think about anything. You just have to hit the enemies. So it also doesn't play a role when you want to rotate through your characters. So you just can rotate through character A to B, then back to A. But it doesn't matter in which order you do it. While with Dragonspine Spear, you actually want to abuse this passive to really optimize the damage. So in just raw damage numbers, Crescent Pike out damages Dragonspine Spear. I felt it was way faster to clear it with Dragonspine with Crescent Pike than to clear it with Dragonspine Spear, just because of the passive with auto attacking. It felt much easier to play. While Dragonspine Spear, I was always thinking about when can I use the 200% buff. So actually what you want to do is you want to trigger the buff, or maybe you want to use a character like Fischl or Beidou just to apply Electro first. Then after this you apply Cryo, and then you go into auto attack, because then you can increase the damage of this passive because the enemy has a physical resistance threat. Then you want to do a couple of auto attacks, then swap Rosaria out, get through your combo. So in my case, it would be like replacing maybe the bird, so Oz, or attack with Beidou, or attack with Jean, and then get back to Rosaria. And by then, you should be able to get back to the 10-second mark to trigger this again, and then you want to rotate through your characters again. While with Crescent Pike, you don't really have to think about such things. And also, on higher refinements, these numbers should go up. But still though, you will always only be able to apply this every 10 seconds, while with Crescent Pike, you have a 5 seconds cooldowns on the buff, with a only 1 second off timer, because you can use the E always in between to get elemental particles back. So TLDR of the conclusion, or whatever is, for the physical build, I would actually go for Crescent Pike if you want to have it easy. But Dragonspine Spear is not necessarily way worse than Crescent Pike. It is just, in my personal opinion, the better weapon. It is easier to play. It gives you more advantages in the general fight. You do have to think less about certain things, and it still does a lot of physical damage. While with Dragonspine Spear, you have to think about your rotation, which could be like the more fun thing, because you really have to think about who to swap in next, when is the passive of Dragonspine Spear up to use it. And if that's what is fun to you, then definitely go ahead and use Dragonspine Spear. But for my part, I would go for Crescent Pike if I would run a physical Rosaria. And if that helps you out, guys, then definitely like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, so you will see more content to upcoming characters. And I see you guys next time.